Hey guys, welcome to Troy Time. Today we're going to make buffalo flavored beef jerky. I love beef jerky. I hope you do too. This is buffalo flavored, it's nice, it's spicy, it's good. First thing we got to do is make our brine. So to do that, we're going to use 1/3 a cup of apple cider vinegar. We're going to use 1/3 a cup for all of our liquids. Next up, we're going to use 1/3 cup of soy sauce. And then following that, we're going to use 1/3 cup of Worcestershire sauce. There we go. There's our liquids. A little bit more. Nice. Boom. Okay, now we go to our dry ingredients. First off, we're going to go red peppers. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons here, but you can use 1 if you like. I'm going to use 2 because I like it hot and spicy. All right, so here we go. Next up, our powders. So we're going to go with onion powder. We're going to go 1 tablespoon. We're going to go 1 tablespoon on all of our powders. We're going to go 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. And then following that, we're also going to go with 1 tablespoon each of both salt and pepper. Bam. Sweet. Okay, so we are now going to go back, and this is the optional ingredient. We're going to use buffalo sauce. You don't have to use buffalo sauce. I like it. That's what we're doing for this video. We're going to use 1/3 cup again because that's a liquid. We're going to put that in there, and we're going to mix it all around. And that, my friends, is our brine. Get it all nice and stirred up well. Stir it around. There we go. That's our brine. All right, next up, we're going to talk about how to cut the meat. Boom. We're going to be using London Broil. London Broil is a great meat to use for jerky. Some people think it's a little bit of a tough meat. Well, that's fine because we're making jerky anyways. And so because it also has no fat or very, very little fat, if we buy a 2-pound roast like what we have here, we're going to make 2 pounds of jerky. If you were to use like a chuck roast or something, you cut a lot of that fat out. Now, there's different ways to cut this. You can cut it in thin slices like this here, or if you want all equal size pieces, like bite-sized uniform pieces, you can cut it into like a 1-inch cube first, and then cut that further into like 1-inch slices. This will give you a rather uniform, all the same size pieces of jerky. But for me, I don't care. I tend to do it just in multiple sizes because sometimes I want different sizes of melt. So then the rest of the way, you can just go down and just cut the slices at the length of the steak itself, which is what I'll be showing you. And so we can put these here to the side. That's the sort of the thickness that you want. Throw these over here. And this is about the size of the blade of the knife. It's either a 1/4 inch, maybe an 1/8 inch. It's that big right there. That's what you want. So I'm just going to finish slicing this up. There we go. Again, London Broil is really one of the best ones to use. You can use sirloin or chuck, but you're just not going to have as much meat. There we go. So that's quick work to cut it off, and then it looks like this. This is half of it. The other half is already in the bag. We're going to throw it in a plastic bag to marinate. Okay? So one tip I'd like to give you is that you put very nice. You put the meat in the bag first. If you put the brine in the bag first, then when you throw the meat in, it's going to splash all around and make a mess. So we have our meat, and we're going to put that in the bag first, and that's going to help hold the bag open for when we need to pour the liquid in. So this is just finishing up putting the second half into the bag. We're just going to toss that in there, just like that. Quick and easy. And that's going to be our meat. And we are ready to go. So all we need to do now is add the brine. Just like that. Beautiful. All right, so now we want to ensure that it gets marinated really well. So we're going to close up the bag, bleed out the air, and then we're going to work the brine into the meat. There we go. So I like to do this on like a cookie sheet, so in case it spills out, it doesn't make a mess. So we're just going to rub it around a little bit, flip it over. We're going to massage it. There you go. Pop it over, up and down. Turn it around, smack it a couple times. Back and forth. There we go. Make it dance. Make it walk. And yeah, so basically you just want to get all the flavor, all the brine infused into the meat. So that's what we've done here. Having it on a tray like this helps a lot, even when you put it in the fridge. Just helps keep it flat and nice. Alright. The one thing that is optional, which I highly recommend, is that you add some liquid smoke. That's really what's going to give it that good flavor. This is mesquite. This is going to give you that good smoky flavor that you want for your jerky. You don't have to use liquid smoke, but I highly recommend it. We're going to put about 4 good spritzes or sprays in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe one more for good measure. There you go. I'm going to seal it up and just work that all about. Nice. Bleed out the air. And this is ready to go in the fridge. So now it's going to go and it's going to marinate. You can marinate for 1 hour to 24 hours. The longer you marinate it, the more flavor is going to be infused. But you can actually marinate it and be ready to put it in the oven in an hour if you're in a hurry. Here we are. So I highly recommend using a plate like this. The copper plate will allow you to peel off the residue after this begins to dry. It'll come right off of the copper plate, as opposed to like the cookie sheet that we were using to marinate on. It'll stick to that really, really, really bad. So you want to use this copper sheet and this copper kind of drying rack right here. That way the air can circulate all the way around and help with the drying process. So here we're just laying them out. The main thing is just make sure that they're flat. They can touch each other. That's fine if it touches. They are going to shrink down a bit, and there'll be a little bit of space left. But we're just going to fill this rack. Boom, just like that. All right, so we're going to fill in the other tiny little spaces. And then this is going to go in the oven. It's going to go in the oven for 175 degrees. Now here's where your options are. You can cook it for 4 hours, and it will be ready to eat. It will be soft steak bites, essentially, that have a jerky flavor. But it will be ready after 4 hours. You can cook it all the way up to 10 hours where it's fully preserved. Again, if you're going to go for fully preserved, I can't fully recommend using the buffalo sauce because I don't know if that can be preserved in that way. But if you take the buffalo sauce out and you go 8 to 10 hours, it will be fully preserved. We're going to go 175 degrees. I like it at 7 hours. 7 hours for me is about perfect. Here it is in the oven. At the 7 hour mark, I'm going to pull it out, and it's going to be just a little bit tender on the inside, but dry all the way on the outside. And it will dry out a little more as you take it out of the oven. Boom. So this is what it looks like after 7 hours. It's spicy, it's dry, it's good, it's hearty, it's very filling. And yeah, I like it. That's a close-up. It's good stuff. I hope you give this a try. Buffalo beef jerky, it's good stuff. If you try it, leave me a note in the comments. Let me know what you use for your sauces. Have a good one. This is Troy Time. I'm out.